Alright, hello everyone. So ang lecture ko ngayon is under Supernatural Psychology. As I keep on saying, paborito ko yan ha. Sa lahat ng mga lecture series ko, Supernatural Psychology is on the top of my list. So ang topic natin, how demons destroy the psyche, specifically cognition, part 2 ito nung lecture ko. So meron na akong part 1 nito. Panoorin na lang in my YouTube channel. For those of you na first time pa lang nakarinig ng lecture na to, let's emphasize on the word demons. Obviously, under to ng supernatural psychology, so may involved na supernatural forces/beings at yan yung demons. Ang ibig sabihin ng demons in its original context is adversary or sa Tagalog, kaaway. Ito yung mga spirit being, pag isa lang siya, spirit beings, pag marami sila, because demons can be more than one in the Bible, who hate God. Ang keyword dito is hate. Galit na galit sila kay Lord. Galit na galit siya kay Lord. If you want to know more about demons, I highly recommend basahin niyo itong libro ni Michael Heiser where talagang diniscuss niya kung ano ba ang nature ng demons in the biblical perspective. Basta tandaan niyo lang, ang demons are supernatural beings who hate God. Sobrang taas ng level of hate nila towards God, kaya gusto nilang ine-express yan. And the best way they express their hate towards God is to destroy His creation. Kasama na dyan syempre yung nature, natural resources. So gagawa na lang natin ng ibang lecture yan, how demons influence people to destroy the natural resources. Ang focus natin dito is yung favorite ni Lord. Ano ba yung pinaka-special na ginawa ni Lord among His different creatures? Yung tao, human beings like us. We are created in the image of God. Tayo lang yung created in the image of God. Hindi niya yan ginawa sa mga hayop. Hindi niya yan ginawa sa dagat. Hindi niya yan ginawa sa mga puno. Only human beings are created in the image of God. That's why humans are so close to God. Napaka-close ng nature natin with God. Kaya, again, demons, ito yung number 1 sa listahan nila na sisirain. Human beings who are created in the image of God. Sinabi ni Jesus yan isa sa nature ng demonyo, the supernatural being we're talking about here is, he is a murderer. Ibig sabihin, gustong-gusto niyang pumatay. Gustong-gusto niyang sirain yung mga ginawa ni Lord, specifically, human beings created in the image of God. So I want you to realize that kapag gigising ka sa umaga, someone always wants you destroyed every day. Merong isang being in this world, in this life, na ang goal niya is sirain ka. Ang goal niya, patayin yung psyche ng tao. Lahat tayo merong death threat. Huwag niyong iisipin na yung death threat para lang yan sa mga politicians, para lang yan sa mga businessmen, para lang yan sa mga drug lords. Sasabihin mo, normal na Juan de la Cruz ka lang, simpleng Juan de la Cruz ka lang, hindi. As long as you are a human being with a soul, lalong-lalo na if you are a child of God, somebody wants you dead spiritually. And how do demons do that? By destroying each of these aspects. Iniisa-isa niyang durugin yan. Physical, cognitive, emotional, and social. Ang focus natin in this lecture is on cognitive. For those of you not familiar, anong ibig sabihin ng cognitive? Ibig sabihin yan, thinking. Para masira ang tao, ang ginagawa ng demonyo, sinisira niya kung paano tayo mag-isip. The word cognitive is where we got the word cognitive psychology. Alam na alam yan ng mga psych majors na nanonood ngayon. Isa itong major subject kapag nasa psych program ka, kukuha ka ng cognitive psychology or CogPsych for short. Shout out dyan sa mga naging students ko under CogPsych. Kung naging estudyante kita sa CogPsych, mag-shout out ka naman dyan sa comment section. Anyway, so under cognitive psychology, marami pinag-aaralan dyan at isa na dyan is yung belief. Kasi ang belief ng tao, also known as the belief system, influences us in so many ways. Kaya mahalaga yung paniniwala ng tao, kung ano ang paniniwala ng tao. Like for example, beliefs including the following. Diba? Kapag naniniwala kang buhay ka, it affects your behaviors. Gagawa ka ng mga actions sa ginagawa ng mga taong buhay. Kakain ka, maliligo ka, magtatrabaho ka. Diba? Kapag naniniwala kang may trabaho ka, kaya ka nag-a-alarm ng cellphone mo every 5 a.m. Kasi ang pasok mo 7 a.m. ayaw mong malate. Kasi pag na-late ka, mababawasan sweldo mo, meron kang sinusuportahang pamilya. It all starts with what you believe. It influences what you do. It influences even what you feel. 'Di ba? Kapag naniniwala kang merong kang misis, pamilyado kang tao, kasal kang tao, pipigilan mo yung emosyon mo na ma-inlove ka sa iba. Pipigilan mo yung drive mo na mangaliwa. Hindi ka sasama kung kani-kanino lang. Hindi ka makikipaglandian sa mga tao na ikasisira ng kasal mo. Does that make sense? Bakit? Kasi naniniwala ka na merong kang misis, kasal kang tao. At syempre, pinakamahalagang belief ng tao is totoong may Diyos. Totoo si Lord. Because you believe that God is real, you worship God. Nagpupunta ka ng simbahan tuwing linggo, nagbabasa ka ng Bible, nagpe-pray ka, nagme-meditate ka on God's Word. Bakit mo ginagawa lahat ng yon? Kasi nga, naniniwala ka na totoo si Lord. That's how important beliefs are in the psychological system of a person. Kaya isa yan sa pinaka-pinag-aaralan in cognitive psychology. Paano ba nabubuo yung beliefs? Paano naapektuhan ng beliefs yung emotions at yung actions natin under yan ng cognitive psychology? So given this, dito na ngayon papasok yung demons. Remember, demons wants us destroyed. Gusto nila mamatay yung psyche natin. And one way to do that is to inject. It's to plant poisonous beliefs that will kill our psyche. Gagawa ng mga false beliefs yung mga demonyo, ilalagay yan sa belief system ng tao para masira yung buhay ng tao created in the image of God. At anong ibig sabihin ko ng toxic belief systems? Ang ibig sabihin ng toxic dito, in this sense, mga bagay about life that are not true, lalong-lalo na unbiblical. So kapag merong paniniwala ang isang tao na hindi totoo, hindi siya in line with reality, with life, most importantly, may paniniwala siyang kontra sa Bible, automatic yung mga belief systems na yan, yung mga paniniwala na yan, toxic yan, lalasunin yan yung psyche ng tao. Does that make sense? Gawa ng demonyo yan, yung mga toxic belief systems na yan. And in my previous lecture, yung part 1 nito, diniscuss ko doon yung self-love movement. Ang tinuturo dyan, you are the most important being in life. Love yourself above all else. Ang dapat goal mo sa buhay mo, sumaya ka ng sumaya. Gawin mo lahat na magpapasaya sa'yo. Ipakita mo kung sino ka. In that lecture, I explained, pinaliwanag ko ng mabuti kung bakit ito toxic. Unfortunately, marami mga tao naniniwala dito, they don't even believe this is wrong. So, ang ginagawa nila, apply ng belief systems na yan, without them knowing it, unti-unti silang namamatay. Psychologically, spiritually, because of this toxic belief system. So baka lang naman kung may mga time kayo, panoorin niyo yung lecture ko dyan para marinig niyo yung full explanation ko how the self-love movement poisons our souls. Kaya marami mga kabataan ngayon, sila kasi yung mahilig mag-self-love movement, maraming kabataan ngayon may mga psychological issues. Because their souls are highly poisoned by this belief system na ginawa ng demonyo. Does that make sense? Okay, so again baka lang naman panoorin nyo yung lecture ko dyan, yung part 1. Today, ang magiging lecture natin na toxic belief system is yung number 2, yung tinatawag na scientism. Ine-next ko na lang yung materialism sa isa pang lecture. Pag sinabi mong scientism, again, ginagamit ito ng demons for people to believe in. Maniniwala sila that truth is equals everything science that can verify. Basta nakikita ng 5 senses mo, basta nakikita natin yan sa scientific laboratories, automatic totoo yan. Maniniwala lang tayo sa mga bagay na kayang i-verify ng science. Yung mga bagay na hindi kayang makita ng science, things that are invisible, anong sasabihin ng demonyo using scientism? Hindi totoo yan, huwag kang maniwala dyan. After all, nasa age of reason na tayo. What does it mean to be reasonable? Ibig sabihin, lahat dapat ng paniniwala mo is based on your 5 senses. Base lang sa sinasabi ng science. If science does not confirm it, if science contradicts it, then it's not true. Huwag mong paniwalaan yan. Yan ang ibig sabihin ng scientism. And in our everyday conversation, lumalabas-labas yung mga ganyang scientism expressions. May mga magsasabi sa'yo, for example, may narinig ka na ba, bakit naniniwala ka pa sa religion? Yung tinuturo ng religion, mga hindi naman verifiable sa laboratory yan. Wala pa naman silang nakitang anghel sa laboratory, wala pa silang nakitang demonyo. Bakit ka pa naniniwala dyan? 21st century na tayo. Anong journal article lang galing yan sinasabi mo? Yung sinasabi ng John 3:16, wala naman sa journal article yan eh. Kasi ang journal article, isa talaga to sa mga promotor ng science. Diba? Hindi naman lahat ng journal article scientific, no? Pero karamihan ng mga knowledge that science promotes, aprobado yan ng mga big-time journal articles. So kapag under ka ng scientism, ang paniniwala mo lang, mga pinaniniwalaan mo lang, yung mga sinasabi ng journal articles. Pag hindi sinasabi ng journal articles, wag mo akong kausapin, hindi ako maniniwala dyan. Yan, maybe somebody have said this to you. Hindi ako naniniwala sa fairy tales of the Bible. Hindi ako naniniwala sa angels, demons, watchers, talking snake, and all the other invisible stuff in the Bible. Kasi ano ako man of reason ako man of science ako. I only believe what science tells me to be true. May mga ganyan, scientism yan. Or eto, hindi ko naman nakita si Lord sa laboratory ko. Wala naman siya sa test tube ko. Hindi ko naman makita si Lord sa MRI. Ibig sabihin, walang Diyos. Kung totoo may Diyos, dapat nakikita siya ng science ko. Yan. Kapag may narinig kang ganyan mag-isip, ganyan magsalita, under yan, na-impluensyahan yan ng scientism. Gawin nating totoong tao to, no? Si Lawrence Krauss, one of the most popular atheists in the world, talagang ito yung paniniwala niya, scientism. Na ang reality, ang truth, determined lang dapat yan ng science. Kapag science, if science does not confirm that something is true, then it's not true. Ang sabi nga niya, no, quotable quote, let me read, it would be fantastic if science had diminished the societal influence of religion. Since religion encourages people to force the universe to conform to their beliefs, science forces beliefs to conform to evidence of reality. Pag sinabi mong evidence, physical. Nakikita, kayang mahuli ng 5 senses natin. That leads to much better policies for society. Siyempre, yung mga disciples ng scientism, when they hear these words by Krauss, talagang papalakpak yung mga yan. Mag-cheer yung mga yan. Kasi agree na agree sila sa ganyang attitude sa buhay ni Lawrence Krauss that everything must be defined by science, only by our senses. Kaya si Lawrence Krauss, nagsulat siya ng libro, ang title, A Universe from Nothing. Sinasagot niya yung question, saan nanggaling yung universe? Although don't be deceived by the title, no? Kasi pag sinabi mong a universe from nothing, hindi scientism yan, spiritual yan. Kasi pag sinabi mong nothing, edi walang physical element that caused the universe. Ang ibig sabihin ng a universe from nothing, may isang physical universe ginawa ng spiritual being from the spiritual realm. Nothing nga not a thing. Pero don't be deceived. Again, pag binasa mo yung libro ni Lawrence Krauss, yung nothing dito, it's not actually nothing. Meron siyang mga sinasabi sa libro niya, hindi ko na i-explain kasi ang hirap i-explain. Kasi ano siya nasa perspective siya ng astrophysics. Ang sagot ni Lawrence Krauss, saan galing ang universe, it's actually physical factors. So, hindi totoo yung sinasabi niya ditong nothing. Actually, it's something. A universe from something. Ang tawag lang niya sa something is nothing. Pero sa totoo lang, you read the book, it's something. May mga physical factors siyang sinasabi na yun daw yung cause ng universe. Tulad ng, guess what? Stardust. Isa yan sa mga explanations niya kung paano nabuhay ang tao, kung paano nabuo yung mundo. Lahat daw tayo gawa sa stardust. Every atom in your body, let me read, came from a star that exploded. And the atoms in your left hand probably came from a different star than your right hand. It really is the most poetic thing I know about physics. You are all stardust. So, nasan yung scientism dyan? Yung stardust. Kasi yung stardust, physical. Nakikita sa laboratory. Kayang pag-aralan sa laboratory. So, yung mundo, lahat ng tao, lahat ng hayop, lahat ng halaman, nanggaling sa stardust. We have a physical source. Yan yung paniwalaan natin kasi ang stardust, verifiable by science. Don't tell me God. Yan yung sasabihin ni Lawrence Krauss. Huwag mong sasabihin sa akin na ang origin ng universe God. Kasi ang God nga, hindi naman kayang mahuli sa laboratory yan. Hindi yan makakapture ng scientific method. Got that? Yan yung ibig sabihin ng scientism. Ultimate reality is physical. The way we should explain everything must be based on science. Kaya naman, it's not surprising, usong-uso yan sa mga universidad and colleges. Marami mga teachers, professors in different fields of knowledge, ganyan ang perspective sa mundo, scientism. And they influence their students to think that way. Huwag niyong paniwalaan yung mga bagay na hindi nakikita. Huwag niyong paniwalaan yung mga bagay na hindi naman verifiable lang science. Ang tanong, bakit ba naging toxic yung scientism? Diba? Again yung scientism na yan, meron yung demonic origin, supernatural origin. Sasabihin ng demons, ipapakalat yung idea na huwag kang maniwala sa mga hindi mo nakikita o mga bagay na hindi naman scientific. And to tell you the truth, I think the demons are very happy in their efforts in doing this kasi maraming naniniwala. Maraming mga tao, yan yung pananaw sa mundo, yan ang pananaw sa buhay. Ultimate reality is what is observable. And I think that's one of the reasons kung bakit nangyayari yung mga ganyang balita. Many people, nawawala na sila ng gana sa religion because one of the factors, marami ng under ng scientism. Karamihan kasi ng mga tinuturo sa religion coming from the spiritual world na hindi naman verifiable by science. God, angels, prayers, so on and so forth. So dahil na-impluwensyahan na sila ng scientism, they don't see the point of talking about invisible things, nawawalan sila ng gana to do something spiritual such as going to church. May isa pang study, ito naman. 'Di ba? May article na sinulat, basahin niyo lang from PSSC, Are We Losing Faith? An Invitation to the Sociology of Religion in the Philippines. In one excerpt from this article, ito yung sinabi, in 1991, 66% of Filipinos adults attended church. But by 2013, ano nangyari? From 66%, lumagpak sa 43%. For Catholics, the decline was even more dramatic from 64% in 1991, 37% na lang noong 2013. I-fast forward mo pa ngayon yan, 2025, the trend is the same. It's going down and down. Parami ang mga tao ayaw nang pag-usapan yung mga spiritual matters kasi nga, yun yung paniniwala nila. Spiritual matters don't exist because it's not confirmed by science. Age of reason na tayo. Dapat mag-stick lang tayo sa science. Mag-stick lang tayo sa sinasabi ng mga journal articles. So ipapaliwanag ko na kung bakit toxic yung ganyang attitude. Kung bakit bad news yung mga ganyang balita. Kasi kapag yung tao naniwala na ang reality is physical lang, karamihan ng mga bagay na kailangan ng spirito natin, given the fact that we are spiritual beings, are coming from the invisible world, the spiritual realm. Karamihan ng mga spiritual needs natin are unseen. Hindi kayang makapture ng science. Yan yung sinasabi ni St. Paul sa 2 Corinthians, di ba? We fix our eyes on things that are unseen. Because things that are unseen are eternal. At yung mga bagay na eternal na yan, yan ang kailangan ng mga spiritual beings like us. Such as, number 1 dyan, ultimate spiritual need ng mga spiritual beings is the presence of God. Got that? The presence of God is the most important need a spiritual being must have. Kailangan natin marinig yung boses ni Lord, maramdaman yung presence ni Lord, ma-absorb yung wisdom ni Lord. Without God who sustains everything, as spiritual beings, mamamatay tayo. Kaya yung mga tao na talagang laging close kay Lord, nagfo-focus sa mga unseen things, such as the presence of the Lord, nagkakaroon sila ng mga spiritual fruits, which are again, hindi siya verifiable by the scientific method. Such as love, joy, peace, patience, kindness, goodness, faithfulness, gentleness, self-control. Diba, hindi mo naman malalagay sa mga test tubes yan eh. Hindi mo naman makikita yan sa magnetic resonance imaging eh. Because again, these things are coming from the spiritual realm and these are unseen. Hindi nakikita pero totoo at kailangan ng mga spiritual beings tulad natin. Kaya ito yung ideal na dapat nangyayari sa isang psyche. Paano ka magiging healthy psychologically? Nahihit mo, namimit mo yung mga spiritual needs mo. Nandyan si Lord sa buhay mo, you are so close to God, and then as a result, nagkakaroon ka ng mga spiritual fruits like this. Namumunga ka. Yan ang maganda. Malayo ka sa mga psychological disorders kapag ganyan ka. Kaya nga lang, may gustong pumatay sa atin, the demons. So anong papausuhin nila? Pausuhin natin yung scientism. Ipaniwala natin sa mga tao na hindi nila kailangan ng mga bagay na hindi naman nila nakikita. Number one dyan si Lord. You see the logic behind the strategy? Why demons would like you to believe this? Kasi pag ang tao naniwala sa scientism, automatic yan, mawawala sa picture si Lord. At alam ng mga demonyo that when God goes away from us, our spirit dies. We as spiritual being dies. So ang demonyo gagamit siya ng scientism, ire-reinforce niya to ng ire-reinforce sa pag-iisip ng tao, at yung mga tao na naniniwala na dyan, yun na. Puro na lang journal article, wala ng Bible study, puro na lang textbook, wala ng fellowship, yun na. Magkakaroon ngayon ng cut. Made-deprive ka ngayon from the spiritual needs na kinakailangan sana nakukuha mo araw-araw. Wala ka ng God's presence. Hindi ka na spiritually namumunga kasi naniwala ka na sa scientism. At ang masakit pa dyan, the more you believe in this and the more you apply this in your life, nagkakaroon ng negative effect yan. Nagkakaroon ng spiritual malnourishment. Kasi nga, ito yung mga kailangan mo You need God's presence for you to bear these spiritual fruits. Wala ka ng access kay Lord. Kasi nga, hindi ka na naniniwala kay Lord. Atheist ka na. Naniniwala ka ng galing ka sa stardust. So, ano mangyayari? Boom! Magkakaroon ka ng spiritual malnourishment. Kung saan-saan ka na lang pupunta dyan for you to fulfill your spiritual cravings. Such as what? Hahanap ka ng mga substitutes, pera, human relationships, fame, drugs, sex, materialism. Bibili ka ng mga mamahaling bag para more or less mapunan mo yung spiritual needs mo. But those things don't last. Pag-aaralan natin yan sa next lecture. Spiritual beings like us need spiritual resources, not material things. Nagigets nyo? Kaya substitutes lang yung mga yon. Along the way, kakapusin yung mga material things na yon. So magiging malnourished yung kaluluwa mo, and that's the reason why marami mga tao ngayon, especially young people, have rising mental health concerns. Sabi pa nga ng ibang mga health experts, ito yung bagong pandemic natin ngayon mental health concerns. How would I explain this? In the perspective of supernatural psychology, marami kasi mga tao hindi nakakakuha ng mga spiritual needs nila. Kaya sila nadidepress. Kaya umaangat yung mga ganyang numbers. Babae ka man, lalaki ka man, through the years, parami yung mga tao, ganyan yung mga mental health concerns. Again, bakit nangyayari yan? In the supernatural perspective, specifically cognitive, kasi marami ng mga tao naniwala sa pinapakalat ng demonyo na scientism. Huwag kang maniwala sa mga hindi nakikita, ang paniwalaan mo lang mga scientific facts. So as a result, ini-screen out na nila yung mga spiritual truths, hindi na sila gumagawa ng mga spiritual activities. Anong effect nun? Spiritual malnourishment, kaya nagiging ganyan yung numbers. Kaya nagkakaroon ng mga ganyang balita. Also mag-side comment lang din ako, for those of you who love watching sci-fi movies, ingat din kayo sa mga katuruan ng mga popular authors na nagsasabi na totoo ang aliens. Walang Diyos, meron aliens. Yung human civilization in history, kaya daw tayo umunlad, tinulungan daw tayo ng mga advanced aliens. May mga cases daw ng mga tao kinikidnap ng mga aliens. I hope you see the logic here. How do aliens undo the concept of God? Basically, ang sinasabi lang yan is, walang spiritual God that can explain everything. Lahat ng nakikita mo ngayon, human technology, advances in our society, kanino tayo dapat magpasalamat? Sa mga aliens na mas advanced sa atin. But the thing is, these aliens are physical. There's no spiritual God who created you. Only physical aliens proven by science. Kaya malaking kuntsaba yan aliens and science. Karamihan pag ang topic is aliens, ang tawag dyan scientific fiction. Science fiction, I mean. Diba? I-equate yung aliens sa science. At unti-unti, yung fiction tinatanggal na. Unti-unti, ang sinasabi sa mga tao, ang mga aliens, verifiable by science. Marami tayong mga documentaries na pwedeng panoorin dyan, pero i-reserve ko na lang yan in the next lectures. But I hope you get the logic. Yung idea ng aliens, they undo, kinakancel nila yung reality that a spiritual God started everything. Tanggalin mo na yung God sa vocabulary mo. Walang spiritual God, merong physical aliens. At meron kami mga ebidensya na totoo ang mga aliens. Kita nyo yung mga pictures na yan, may UFO, nagliliwanag pa, marami kaming mga tao, ito yung ebidensya, na talagang kinidnap sila ng mga aliens. So, walang Diyos. Meron physical aliens. At kapag naniwala ka dyan, hindi na si Lord yung sasambihin mo. Sino na sinasamba mo? Yung mga aliens. Hindi na si Jesus yung inaabangan mo sa second coming. Sino na? Yung mga aliens. And that will have negative impact sa spirituality at mental health ng mga taong naniniwala sa mga ganyan. Nagkakaroon sila ng spiritual malnourishment kasi nga, because they believe in the physical origin of everything, hindi nila nakikita o nakukuha, yung mga spiritual needs na dapat meron sila, such as, number 1 dyan, the presence of the Lord, who is the ultimate spiritual being. So, hindi na si Lord yung pinupuntahan mo yung mga aliens. Nagigets nyo? Kaya in closing, naalala ko yung story sa Bible about Thomas, the doubter. You remember that story, diba? When Jesus showed himself to the disciples after his resurrection, tapos kinuwento ng mga disciples kay Thomas na nakita nila si Jesus, hindi naniwala si Thomas. Ano sinabi niya? Until I see with my eyes and I touch my master's body, I wouldn't believe. Kaya siya tinawag na doubting Thomas. Fast forward, nakita na ni Thomas si Jesus, nakita na niya with his eyes. Hinawakan pa niya yung sugat ni Jesus. Ano sabi ni Thomas? My Lord and my God. Doon siya sumamba. Doon siya naniwala kay Lord. Pero medyo pinagalitan siya ni Lord doon. Ang sabi ni Jesus, diba? Jesus said to him, because you have seen me, you have believed. Oops, sounds familiar. Anong attitude yung ganyan? Naniniwala ka lang sa mga nakikita mo, that's scientism. Yan yung pinapakalat na attitude, na idea ng mga demons to kill spiritual beings like us. Fini-fixate nila tayo sa mga physical things lang. Paniwalaan mo lang yung nakikita mo, paniwalaan mo lang yung sinasabi ng science, paniwalaan mo lang yung sinasabi ng journal articles. Anything beyond journal articles, anything na hindi kayang ma-verify ng science, kalokohan, fairy tales, gawa-gawa lang, chismis-chismis lang. Yun You have seen me, you have believed. And many people are like that today. They only believe what they see. But look at what Jesus said. Blessed are those who have not seen and yet have believed. Yung word na blessed in the Bible, it's equivalent to well-being or happiness. Ang sinasabi ni Jesus dito, magiging maganda yung status ng well-being mo, magiging healthier yung psyche mo kapag naniniwala ka sa mga bagay na hindi nakikita pero totoo at kailangan mo. And that's exactly what scientism stops you from getting. Kasi nga, fino-focus lang ng scientism yung consciousness ng tao sa mga visible na bagay. Karamihan sa mga visible na bagay, walang spiritual impact. The very things that make us alive spiritually are things that are not seen. Kaya nga sinabi ni St. Paul, ulitin ko na lang dito, things that are unseen are what? Eternal. Yan yung bubuhay sa espiritu ng isang spiritual being tulad ng mga tao. Kaya in closing, pumili ka kung ano ang magiging source mo ng truth. Scientism or what the Bible says. Now, don't get me wrong. Hindi ko kayo pinapapili dito kung science or the Bible because they don't contradict each other. Kalokohan yun. Gawa-gawa lang yun ng mga taong galit kay Lord. No? Yung sasabihin niya, you have to choose kung science ba o Bible ang paniniwalaan mo. Walang contradiction between science and the Bible. Sana ang piliin mo dito is the option where the two can be integrated. May mga bagay na hindi kayang mahuli ng science. Again, don't get me wrong. Maraming sinasabi ang science, totoo naman talaga. Pero karamihan ng mga sinasabi ng science na totoo are under physical reality. May mga bagay na hindi kayang maabot ng science tulad ng spiritual truths. And for those things na hindi kayang maabot ng science, we go to the Bible. See? Nagtutulungan sila. Kapag kinumbine mo yung science at yung Bible, mas nagiging accurate yung view mo of reality. Merong physical reality as captured by science, merong spiritual reality as mentioned in the Bible. Ganon dapat ang pananaw sa buhay. Hindi yung scientism ka lang. Tapos sisiraan mo yung Bible, sasabihin mo, dahil ang Bible hindi scientific, kalokohan yan. Malaki ang magiging negative spiritual impact niyan kapag ganyan ka mag-isip. Sarado ang utak mo sa science. Diba? And again, ulitin ko lang, no, because this is supernatural psychology, this is the game plan of demons. Diba? Ako naniniwala marami mga tao na kasama dito sa rates na to, depression rates na to, the reason why fixated sila sa physical world. Many of these people believe that there's no God who cares for them. There's no spiritual God who cares for them. Kaya delikado talaga eh. Toxic talaga yung ganyang belief system. Yung what is physical is only what's real. Ay nako, nakakalason sa psyche yan. Dapat lagi mong sasamahan ng spirituality, spiritual truths as mentioned in the Bible. Oh. Kapag focus ka lang ng focus sa physical things, nawawala yung spiritual nourishment mo, ito yung nangyayari. Tumataas yung mga numbers. And this is exactly what the devil, what demons want to happen. To make people believe that everything can be explained by science and everything that we should believe must only be physical. Must only be observable. E paano naman yung Holy Spirit niyan? Paano naman si Lord niyan? Paano naman yung mga spiritual fruits niyan? Kung hindi ka maniniwala sa unseen realm, sa invisible world. Does that make sense? O kaya, naalala ko na naman itong mga passages na to eh. You remember these two stories, di ba? Your faith, sabi ni Jesus, has healed you. Go in peace and be freed from your suffering. In another passage, Jesus said, rise and go, your faith has made you well. In these two passages, may ginamot si Jesus. May mga tao who got better. Physically better. Why? Anong nagpa-better sa kanila? If you read the passages, believing in the spiritual world. Yun yung tinatawag nating faith. Naniniwala ka sa mga bagay na hindi kayang makapture ng science. Kahit hindi mo nakikita, alam mong totoo, kaya maniniwala ka, faith ang tawag doon. And that faith, according to these two passages, meron siyang enhancing effect. In this case, na-enhance yung physical suffering ng mga ginamot ni Jesus. Pero ako naniniwala, faith does not only heal physical illnesses, it can also heal spiritual problems. Most of the time, kaya tayo nai-injure or spiritually. Bakit hirap na hirap tayo mag-cope with spiritual problems? Kinukulang tayo sa faith. Faith is a very important spiritual variable to really improve our physical life, including our spiritual life. Diba? At ano ang scientific support ko dyan na ang faith, pampaganda ng well-being yan? Well, you cannot deny the many studies that establish na ang mga taong highly spiritual at isang expression ng spirituality is faith, gumaganda yung well-being in all aspects. That explains why spirituality predicts good mental health. Paulit-ulit yan sa literature, ang dami nating evidences dyan. Let me read one excerpt from one of these articles. Recent decades have been marked by another shift in thought with increased interest in the overlap between mental health and religiosity and spirituality. And, eto, gusto ko i-emphasize ko to, the recognition that religiosity/spirituality, kasama na dyan yung faith, may in fact serve protective and healing roles in the face of emotional suffering. Kasi yan naman talaga ang spiritual reality. When human beings like us are struggling spiritually, what do we need? We need spiritual resources as provided by God. Yan yung magpapaganda, yan yung sasalba sa mental health natin. Kaya ang problema, pag naniwala ka sa demonyo na dapat lahat nakikita lang ng science, ang hindi nakikita ng science, hindi totoo, ano mangyayari? Going back to that model, yan, spiritual malnourishment. Imbis na nakukuha mo kasi yung mga yan, hindi ka nga naniniwala sa spiritual world kasi nga, age of reason na, 21st century na, hindi naman nakikita yung mga yan, scrap that out, I'll just stay with what science says. Spiritual malnourishment, maya-maya, isa ka na sa mga numbers na yan. Nagigets nyo? At sino nagpapakalat ng ganyang idea? None other than God's enemy, God's adversary, the demons. That's how demons poisons our minds, our cognition. Alright? So, yun lang yung maikli nating lecture tungkol sa How Demons Destroy the Psyche. Part 2, abangan nyo yung part 3 ko dito. Okay? So, kung meron kayong mga questions, comments, I'm sure marami, ilagay nyo lang dyan sa comment section. Sir Howard here. Until the next lecture, God bless everyone. Bye-bye.